Well, welcome to another Clever Dicks podcast. We're going to do things a little bit differently this time. So Duncan and I have just come back from the New Zealand or even Oceania Ice Swimming Pool Championships. And we just wanted to talk a little bit about how crazy swimming in really cold water is and why people do it. So we've got a couple of snippets from people. So you're going to hear from quite a few people that we talked to when we were down at the Ice Swimming Pool Championships, and we'll get a little bit of our views, and hopefully you enjoy it. So to start off with, my mate Duncan here, the cleverest clever dick that we've got around, decided to swim as long and as hard and as cold as he possibly could down at the Ice Swimming Pool Championships.
Sure.
Is that correct? So how far did you go, or do you need somebody else to tell you about that?
So I managed to get through 2,250 meters. The water temperature that morning was 2.1. And as I understand, swim's still to be ratified, by the way. It will go through international ice swimming ratification process. You've got to show videos and observers and blah, 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 blah. But as I understand it, temperature for my swim was 2.6 degrees. And it was hard, dude. It was a lot harder than I thought it would be.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was hard just watching you, dude. Yeah, he started off, man, he was like this rocket ship going. And, well, that's what we could see was going through his mind anyway.
So I did have about 4 personal invitations for swim lessons and technique assistance after after that swim. So I obviously looked like shit, dude. But yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
Well, I tell you what, you could tell that he was working hard, and yeah, it was pretty intense. So all of us down there had been in the water, but not for quite as long as Duncan managed. So I suppose the question that I asked lots of other people and to you, it's a bit crazy, this ice swimming. Yeah,
a little bit. I mean, no more crazier than your skydiving days, or I don't know, racing motorbikes around a track or whatever the case might be. It probably looks more risky than what it actually is. But yeah, it's I guess just a little bit of a. I mean, for example, my wife doesn't understand. She's like, I don't know what the hell you're doing. That's just super crazy. I don't even think she knows that I sort of swam a little record there. She's not interested at all. But so I did a swim with Ram Barkai, who's the founder of International Ice Swimming Association, back in, I checked the dates the other day, 2013. And that was down in Fraserburg in South Africa. And that was my little, there was a 500 meter swim in the back of some farmer dude's land and some like brown looking water, snow-capped mountains in the background. And there was just something that's like addictive about it, right? It's I'm not a sort of techie guy like you're aware, but there's something about it, endorphins, energy release, something about pushing your body to the max and that recovery process that just makes you feel like super alive, and you know, it's addictive. So yeah, you want to go back. So straight afterwards, you're like, hell no, I'm never going to go back and do that stupid thing again. But give it, you know, a week or two, and you're already considering what the next swim looks like. And yeah, immigrated to New Zealand in 2018 and had a chat with Roger Soulsby at that stage, saying, oi, what's happening? Where's some cold water on the island? And before we knew it, we had Ice Swimming New Zealand, and we had a couple of national events. This is, I think, the 4th national event that we've had. You're the treasurer, so you'll know the dates better than me. But yeah, pretty cool to see the uptake with all of the people. Some super crazies out there. We've met some amazing people, right? Both sort of, in inverted commas, normal people, and then other guys. You know, Mary Fisher as an example, who I met for the first time last week, who's a a blind swimmer swimming in the ice. I mean, you know, if you think what I've done is crazy, what she's done is crazy times 10, right? So cool people.
There's some cool people. Okay, so what we've got is a couple of short little snippets from some people that we met down there. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. Here we go. I think we'll start up with Karim.
Super cool.
All right, so could you tell me your name and where you're from?
My name is Karim Rustami, and I'm from Auckland.
But your name, Karim, you're not originally from New Zealand, is that correct?
No, I'm originally from Kabul, Afghanistan, but I call New Zealand home in the last 24 years.
Oh, that's wonderful. So ice swimming is a bit crazy, don't you think?
Absolutely. I think you got to be... It's one of those things that's just kind of like it's next level. It's hard to put them on words. It's hard to explain. You got to be inside to feel it. It's one of those things. I don't think the word can describe it.
Cool. But why do you do it?
That's a very good question. Everybody got their whys in their life, and everybody got their own targets in life. My why is, why not? And my why is, always as it is I want to inspire the people. Because I'm not a 6'4" and super duper and build up anything. I'm a fit for nothing and with a disability. And I come out here, freeze my things off, and for that target is one target and only target, to inspire the people. To look at it and to say, if this guy can do it, I can do it better than him. All I want to do that.
Well, I think that you're inspiring. Swimming in this is hard enough without a disability, so wonderful, good work, Karim.
Thank you. Thanks
very much. Right, so what's your name and where are you from?
Hi, I'm Peter Bradley. I'm from a place called Galarganbone in Central West New South Wales, Australia.
All the way from Australia to swim in New Zealand. Awesome.
Yeah, and I'm Ben Clavel, and I'm from Australia as well. And I'm from a little town called Broken Hill, which is about 14 hours west of Sydney.
That's awesome. So, isn't ice swimming a bit crazy? How come you guys have come all the way from Australia to come and swim in really cold water in New Zealand?
Well, there's not many places that get this cold as what the water is here today, but it's the community, the competition, and that's what keeps us coming back.
Yeah, and I got into ice swimming through Peter, my good friend here, and she's an accomplished ice swimmer in her own right, and I like the cold water, but Peter just said to me, do you want to take it to the next level and go to ice? And I said, yeah.
Oh, okay, so that was going to be my next question, is the why you do it. So you really like the cold water?
Oh, look, I do, and I like it for my own mental health reasons. I like it because it allows my brain to slow down. Which is something that I suffer with. My brain's on the go the whole time. And when I get in the cold water, it's the one time during the day when I can see clearly. My brain is clear. And the ice water, I guess, is the next level of that.
That's awesome. And yourself, Peter?
Yeah, I think it's the rush that I get afterwards, and being able to train and have something to work towards and a goal is a really important part of my life. And the ice swimming enables that, and the ice swimming community really, I guess, empowers that.
That's awesome. Thanks very much, Ben.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Peter.
Thank you.
I'm here with Jackson. So, Jackson, tell me a little bit who you are and where you're from.
My name's Jackson Arledge. I'm currently living in Wellington. Have a fairly decent pool swimming background when I was a teenager. But yeah, now we're here swimming in the ice.
Well, that's awesome. So tell me, you're down here at the Ice Swimming Champs. Isn't ice swimming crazy? Isn't it a bit stupid?
A little bit, but it's very controlled. It's very safe. We've got lots of support people looking after us, and it's a great different challenge. Yeah, really enjoy it.
And why is it that you decided to do some of this really cold swimming?
Because Alicia is a crazy person and twisted everyone's arm in Wellington that she could to come last year for the first time and caught the bug, and so I'm come back.
That's awesome. Thanks, Jackson. Yeah, I'm kind of a peer pressure sucker too. What's your name and where are you from?
I'm Wei Peng Chu, and I'm from Malaysia originally, but I live in New Zealand now in Christchurch, and that's my home now. And yeah.
Wonderful. So this ice swimming is quite out there and a bit crazy, don't you think?
Yes, it is. Everyone's been telling me, oh, you do ice swimming, you must be crazy. And everyone's like, oh my goodness, that's next level of craziness.
Because you don't get ice swimming in Malaysia, I don't think.
No, Malaysia is like a tropical country. And so, yeah, I think I might be the only Malaysian that's doing ice swimming at the moment. There is another Malaysian member on the ISA website, but he's a warm member, so he hasn't had any experience in the cold water yet.
So you've got Malaysian records all over, haven't you?
Yeah, woohoo! Yeah, just participate and you got the Malaysian records. I like that. That's great.
So tell me, why is it that you do? Because this is not your first time. You kept on coming back and coming back.
Yeah, sucker for punishment. Because I just want that challenge and pushing myself, and like, because when someone said, because I like trying new things, that's it, and and then someone was saying, oh, open water swimming, and then I tried that and it was terrible because I need to be rescued. Someone had to take me out of the water because I said, okay, I'll do the fit and able 500 meter open water swim, and then I'm like, hidden, first time in the open water, can't see the bottom, panic, and I'm like, do doggy paddle, and then I can't do it. And then I put my hand up, take me out of the water. And then it took me about maybe a year and a half to get comfortable open water swimming. And then this group of friends that I swim with, the Canterbury open water swimmers, the Cowsers, they were introducing like ice swimming as well. And then they were talking about the ice mile, and I'm like, should I try that? Give it a go. And then I thought, okay, we'll just do 1 year, a little bit at a time, and see how I go.
That's good. So you've got a really good community of swimmers, the Canterbury Open Water Swimmers?
Yes. So I swim with a group of people. There's a group chat. We call ourselves the Sunrise Swimmers. And we swim before work on the weekdays, like Tuesdays, Wednesday, Thursday, sometimes Friday, and then Saturday afternoon. And then sometimes I swim with Lake Rua. There's another group that swims in Christchurch as well, and we just swims on Sunday or Saturday. Yeah.
I have a very quick question, Wei Ping. You're a dentist, right?
Yes, I'm a dentist.
What is worse, an ice mile or toothache?
Oh, I think toothache. Because yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, Wei Ping. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Yes, thank you.
So, Jim, your first experience with ice swimming was you came down to Lake Linden probably 3 years ago to assist us as a safety officer. You were working on an IRB, looking like David Hasselhoff, just with icicles coming down on your ears and on your moustache. And I think we twisted your arm and sort of chucked you in. You did 20, 30 meters with no swim cap, no goggles. And since then, you've done 2 by 1 kilometers in the ice, the latest of which was last week in Alex in the pool. 1 kilometer in just over 2 degrees Celsius. Now, it's my chance to ask you, Mr. Clever Dick, why?
Well, that's interesting. So I've been thinking about it. I like to tell lots of people that I'm a sucker for peer pressure and that I do things because everyone torments me into doing it. But when I really get down to it, I'm a very social swimmer. I really enjoy swimming with people, and the cold water swimmers are some of the best people around. I had such a fantastic time every time I go away to one of these ice swimming events. But I also get a complete buzz out of doing the swim. You know, while I might find, like many people, getting in the water is pretty hard, you know, after about 10 minutes, it feels absolutely wonderful. And then as you sort of come through and get through the recovery, it also feels wonderful. I think one of the other reasons I do it is I really like challenging myself. I think that there's a bit of a... it's very easy to get very comfortable in this modern day and age. You know, if you go back probably even 100 years ago, our ancestors just weren't able just to be warm all the time and well fed all the time. Yeah. And I think that just pushing yourself out and looking for areas where you can challenge yourself certainly helps me mentally. I feel like a bit of a better person if I think I've done something that's challenging. So there's definitely that part of it as well.
So basically what you're saying is all the guys you work with are a bunch of wussies.
Yeah. How about the guys you work with?
Yeah, definitely a bunch of wussies.
Other than those guys that still run and do all kinds of other crazy things. But yeah, I think in general, society is just got too comfortable, and I think that it's not good for our mental health and is not good for our physical health. So that's
imagine our movement is definitely good for you, right? I just feel so much better when I've just, even if it's cutting the grass or doing something, right? You've got to move.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like full on running or swimming or something. Like just movement is really cool. So yeah, that's kind of my why.
So tell me, in the kilometre, so you get in and it's obviously a bit of a shock to your system, right? You sort of take a couple of big breaths. If you're like me, that first length or two is quite tough. You know, you struggling to adjust, your breathing's quite shallow, and then you find a bit of a rhythm. You hinted at it a little bit earlier. After that initial sort of panic type scenario, you start to feel really good. What happens after that?
So I was very conscious of that I hadn't swum in water that cold before, and one of the other swimmers, Sue, had she was really good in that she pulled the pin on her swim at the right time.
She's clever.
So what I did was I sort of set myself an initial target of 0.5 kilometre, and after that, as I approached the end of the pool, finishing every 50, I mentally gave myself permission to stop. And then as I touched the wall, I said I can do another 50, and that's the way that I dealt with it. I just kept on considering should I stop, and then I felt, how did I feel, and I felt I could carry on.
You did a little bit of a self-analysis and made sure you were still in good shape and fit to continue, right? Which I think is quite important when you do stuff like this.
I was able to think, so I'm very aware that when people get really cold, your ability to think really reduces. So I was trying to sort of check that out and trying to keep my counting of lengths going, etc., etc. So that's how I kept on going.
Okay. So for me as well, what worked quite nicely, we had the Aussie Joy, and we will get Joy onto this podcast at some point in time and talk about the amazing swim experiences that she offers on Keppel Island in Australia. Separate chat, but long story short is she was the sort of safety on deck person in a big ass orange, fluoro orange jacket, and I felt massive comfort in watching her walk up and down the pool right next to me, just watching my strokes, looking at my eyes. Towards the end of my swim, she was asking me a couple of questions, what is your firstborn, what's his name, blah, blah, blah. So I was quite comfortable that I could just continue and I was in good hands,
All right. So tell me, what's your name and where are you from?
I'm Bethany Rogers. I'm originally from the UK, but I've been living in Queenstown for more than a decade now.
Oh, that's awesome. So this ice swimming is a bit crazy, isn't it? What do you think?
Yeah, it's mad, but I love it.
Okay, so you love it, but why do you do it? What got you into this?
I started out swimming without a wetsuit in Lake Rockatipu in Queenstown just because I was too stingy to buy one. I thought they were quite expensive. And then when I learned it was a sport from my friend Rachel, I was like, actually, this is quite cool that there's other people who always swim without wetsuits. And yeah, got training from there, did the open water at St. Bathans last year, really enjoyed it. So I thought I'd come back and try the pool version.
Oh, cool. How far did you go in the open water?
I did 1,000 last year. I did my first 1K.
That's awesome. And now you're at the pool champs and it's butterfly coming up, I understand.
It is, yes. 100 meters fly this afternoon.
100 meters fly in really cold water. You got to be crazy.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm quite excited but really nervous.
Oh, that's awesome. Thanks for talking to us, Bethany. Appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Good to talk to you.
Right. What's your name and where are you from?
I'm Cameron Stanley and I live in Queensbury, which is near Wanaka at the moment.
That's awesome. So you've just done a 500 metre ice swim. Isn't that a bit crazy?
Yeah, I'm questioning my own sanity at the moment, probably, especially in 2.1 degrees, but it's pretty awesome to get to the end of it.
Yeah, you did an awesome swim there. So tell me, why did you do it?
I sort of initially got roped into this competition by Belinda Donaldson, who heard about it and then convinced Laura Quilter to do it, who then convinced me to do it, to have someone else to do it with. And then once I sort of made the decision to enter, I was like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it properly. So I did a bit of training and sort of liked the idea of the challenge, and yeah, here I am.
That's awesome. You going to do it again?
Yeah, I could be back. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, it's more the training that puts me off. I like being here. It's great atmosphere, great people, and yeah, really cool event to be a part of.
How was your recovery?
Better than expected today. A little bit of shivering, but actually better than the 250. I think in the 250 I went out a bit too hard. I got a really tight chest. I tried to push. I get really bad brain threes, and I tried to push through that and keep swimming freestyle, and I got really dizzy and sore in the head. Whereas today I took it a bit easier, relaxed into it a bit more, did some backstroke, and yeah, it was a lot better actually. So yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Cameron. Really appreciate it.
All good.
Right. Hi. Tell me, what's your name and where are you from?
My name's Madeline Hobo. I'm 16 and I'm from the Naki.
From the Naki. Awesome. And you're down here at the Ice Swimming Championships. Isn't that a bit crazy?
Yeah, definitely. But I think it's full of good vibes and we're all having a go. So it's really cool to be here.
Cool. And, you're probably one of the younger people here. So why are you doing this?
I've always had a bit of an aptitude for cold water swimming, and I love to do swimming outdoors, so it's cool to be in an outdoor pool and do the training in the lakes and stuff, and I'm just, yeah, it's good challenge, I guess.
Yeah, there's a couple of other young people around as well, so you're having a bit of competition with the others?
Oh yeah, definitely. The Alexandra locals are really giving me a run for my money.
So you're quite competitive at the best of times, are you?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Depends.
Oh,
yeah, in the longer freestyle races, I definitely wanted to champion those. So yeah,
you're focusing on those. That's awesome. Okay, well, thanks so much for talking to us, Madeline.
Thank you.
Cheers. Okay, so tell me your name and where you're from.
Brent Bothell. I'm from Blenheim in lovely Marlborough.
That's wonderful. Now, this ice swimming is a bit crazy, don't you think?
Yes. Well, it's not crazy to me. You mention it to the staff at the supermarket when you go, and pick up a bit of shopping, and they all think you're completely mad. But for us as a group of people, it's not. We love it.
Love it. That's great. And why is it that you got into, or why do you do the swimming?
Well, to explain it quickly, that's a bit of a long story. I've always been around water, but about 6 years ago, a friend of mine who's done a few Ironmans, he'd started cold showers. I was on holiday in Australia, back to visit some friends because I live there, and he said, I've started cold showers. I'll challenge you to see who can do cold showers for the longest. So he lasted 3 months, and then I got a message, I've had a hot shower. Okay, that means you've won. And I thought, well, what do I do? And Ironman's challenged me to this. I'm an amputee, I've got weak legs, but I can probably beat him at this. I went a whole year so I could send one text message to him to say I did a year. And then I thought maybe I can do 2. And it went from there.
That's amazing. So you are quite inspirational. As you said, you're an amputee.
Yep.
And you're sitting there competing with a whole bunch of able-bodied swimmers.
Yep.
You are inspirational. I've got to say, how does it feel just being part of the regular group?
It's to be the first New Zealand amputee ice swimmer compared to was a special thing. First is special, and then this event being a Southern Hemisphere competition, I get to be the first amputee to compete at this level in a number of events. It's pretty special to me. Yeah, it's really good.
Brent, you're an inspiration to all of us. Thanks so much for talking to us.
Oh, no, thank you, and thanks for all you do here, and thanks for everyone that helps out. So it's a really special thing for me to be involved with.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, so that was Brent. What a legend. He won a Clever Dicks Award for, it was the Swimmer's Choice Award for perseverance and humility. So Brent, again, dude, I've learned a little bit about myself, but I've learned so much about sort of just people in general from you, dude. You definitely inspire me, and hats off, man. He's way tougher than you, Jim.
Well, that's fine, because almost everybody there was tougher than me. Yeah, so we had a really great time. I just wanted to have a shout out, because a lot of people think it's all about the swimmers, but what we had was just a wonderful community. We had a lot of supporters who, every swimmer, when they came out, especially if they'd done a longer swim, they had a buddy just to make sure that they could get dressed and get warmed.
Yeah.
But we had people just volunteering and putting their hands up, and if they weren't doing that, they were manning the stopwatches and helping marshalling and just holding towels and coats for people.
Opening
in the
doors, helping people get dressed.
It was
putting
just
underpants on, like all sorts of stuff.
All sorts of stuff. And we had a number of people just really focused on safety. You mentioned Joy, but we also had Lee and Ewan and a couple of people who were just there to make sure that we were safe.
Yep.
And the last bit was we had an amazing team in the medical tent. We had
Auntie Meg.
We had Auntie Meg and Bree. Bree was she was tough as. Duncan comes along after a swim, and she takes a look at all the clothes that he's put there, and she threw them almost in the bin and said, "Those are just not acceptable.
What's this cotton shit?
What's this cotton stuff? Just strip him down and put him naked in the bed. We'll put stuff around him." And then we had the doctors, Dagmar and Corin, as well. Yeah. So, we were super well looked after. People were filling hot water bottles for us. So, I think
Jennifer on the coffees and soups.
Jennifer on the so that's why I think all of the swimmers there were able to push their limits, because they knew that there were sufficient people around there to get their backs. And people like Joy also knew when to tell people to stop swimming when they were getting a bit too close to their limits. So just a big shout out to everybody who was there. Nobody needed to be coerced to do things. Everyone just helped out. It was a really great event. Yeah.
And linked to that, Jim, there was obviously it's a tiny little event, and every cent helps. And there was a couple of sponsors that did really go out of their way to assist us. Swim T3, as per normal, is always helping us out. Thank you, Dan. Zogs did all of our caps for us, the silicone caps, as a sponsorship. Zogs, for me, anytime I drop them a line and ask them to help, they are involved, and they just happen to have the best goggles in the world as well. The Alex Pool and Leisure Centre as a whole is an amazing centre. The staff there literally bent over backwards to make our event.
Just jumping in, I tell you what, we just got felt so welcome. We sort of, one day we muttered, "Where's the coffee?" And the next day, there's a coffee cart outside.
Damn, Jim. Yeah, coffee cart, which was amazing. Point Chev Cafe, which is owned by Karim, one of the swimmers. Assisted with quite a lot of bits and pieces as well. If you're in Auckland, pop into Point Chev Cafe. I can vouch for it. It's really, really awesome. Milford Pizza gave away a couple of vouchers. Mons Royal gave us some equipment to help the event happen. So big gazebos, prizes. They were really involved in all those bits and pieces. Toasty Life. I don't know if you know them. You'll know them, Jim, but if the listeners don't know them, they are super thick, chunky, I guess, winter type jackets that you could wear in the snow at ice swimming events, after an ocean swim, etc. They are amazing. Look them up. Toasty
I got
Life.
one of their beanies. It was so hot, I couldn't keep it on.
Legends. And then I guess, again, President of ISA New Zealand, Roger, gives up massive amounts of his time. Thank you, Roger. You're a legend. When I'm big and old, I want to be like you, excepting for the eyebrows. I don't want the eyebrows, but you've got big eyebrows. Sue, you're a legend. You give away time and more time and more time. And then you still kick ass and swim 2.1 kilometers, which is just ridiculous. And then, I guess, Jim, what's next is the guys are putting together a team for World Champs.
Yeah, after Malvino in Italy in January 2025. So the Kiwis will be representing over there. Hopefully some of the Aussies are going to put a bit of a team together. They were there last time.
Yeah, I think the Aussies were pretty sucked up, right? So there's at least, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 of them that would have qualified at our event.
Yep.
So yeah. Aussie!
Oi!
Nice. Yeah, man. So I guess the last thing, Jim, is if anybody is interested in ice swimming, there's a really great community in New Zealand that are supportive for newbies and will always put safety first. And I reckon the best place to contact them is at iceswimmingnz@gmail.com, or alternatively drop us a note on our Instagram account or on this podcast and get involved.
And if you're listening to this outside of New Zealand, you can just go to the internationaliceswimming.com website. That's ISA. They've got, you can find links to all of the countries that get involved, and you'll be able to get some local contacts if that's what interests you.
Yeah, and hopefully the next time we do a podcast, I'll be able to feel my fingertips. I'm still getting there. I'm not quite there yet.
Mine is still a little bit numb as well. Okay.
See you guys in the water.
Cheers, everybody.